Good evening. Yesterday we started dynamic memory allocation. Yesterday's session was important. So if you get time, then go through that session. It is an edited 55 minutes video. So we were in the this function, malloc function. We started writing the program. So malloc is the library function, right? It needs number of bytes to be allocated. So usually it is written as size of suppose int, right? So here malloc will return a void pointer. Void pointer is a generic pointer. So here it is a void pointer. This function returns a void pointer, right? And it is typecasted into integer pointer. Why? Because here at the left hand side there is a pointer. We want to store integer on the heap, right? So ptr will be on the stack and ptr will point to the memory allocated on the heap by malloc function. When you write star ptr is equal to 5, 5 will be stored on the heap. Now, uh, let's open that file if it is possible. So this is a prototype of malloc. Have you seen this prototype of malloc? So malloc and size underscore t is a uh, is a data type. A data type for unsigned integer. Right? Basically, it is type def, and it returns a word pointer. See here, it returns a word pointer and size. We will see this is a size t. Not that size t. Suppose num, right? So num is equal to 55, and I will write printf cd actually is what we are printing, the value stored on the heap. I will also print is equal to %u because it is an unsigned integer now. Right? So size t is the unsigned int. So if I compile this program, and run this, it will print num is equal to 55, right? I don't remember I have seen it or not, but for your this thing, for your understanding only, I have taught you type def in detail, right? So inside the library somewhere, basically there is a statement like type def unsigned int as size underscore t, right? There is a statement like this inside the library. That is the reason you can declare statement or declare variable like this, right? Okay, some difference, some changes might be there. I just told you the outline of that, right? Now, I will share this file along with you afterwards, right? But I will open another project. Suppose uh, I want to enter few numbers, right? Enter few integers. I will declare one variable as a num, right? I would declare one pointer variable because it is we want to store multiple integers. Kind of say we want to create a kind of array on the heap, right? So I will declare a variable as star ptr. I'll write one variable as I, and I'll write printf how many elements you want to enter, right? I will take that in the variable num, and after that I will allocate the memory. So ptr is equal to, all these are integer, so typecast it to the int star malloc, and I will write here. Now number of bytes are to be allocated. So I will write size of int into, right? The size of int whatever. The size of int is the right method for allocation of memory for malloc or calloc or realloc, because um, you can write there 4, but if you write here 4, it may happen that if you run this program in some another machine where number of bytes allocated for integer is 2 or 8, whatever, then this program won't be a portable program, right? So size of int into num, because this is going to be entered, the value of num, number of elements is going to be entered at the runtime, and so this memory will be allocated at runtime, right? So I can write here now for, I can write I equal to 1, I less than or equal to num plus plus, right? And I can write printf enter number, suppose enter whatever, enter number, right? Scanf for cd, right? I will declare here one more variable as a star temp. I'll write temp is equal to PTR, so that temp and PTR point to the um, first element of memory allocated on the heap. I will write here M, right? I can write temp plus plus. So pointer is incremented, and then I can write for I equals 0, 1, I less than or equal to num I plus plus. I print here cd, and I will write star temp, right? And temp plus plus. What we are doing, we are just storing elements and trying to access. That's it. Yesterday, after session is over, I asked students if there are any questions, but those who were present didn't ask me any questions. So I was a bit confused whether students didn't understand at all or understood everything. But there was not a single question from you. So I was a bit surprised. Um, I always expect you should ask more and more questions. Let's see. Is there any doesn't seem to be contain any error. So how many elements you want to enter? So this is the first time. Last uh, in lost all chapters, we are able to decide how many elements you want to store at the runtime. This doesn't happen in the past, right? Okay, obviously you can declare an array and store that, but array size is fixed at the compile time. So that much memory is allocated as soon as you execute the program. If you are declaring an array of 100 elements, 400 bytes will be allocated on from the stack. That is for sure. Here it is not the case. Here memory is yet to be allocated. See, if I enter, suppose I want to store suppose 6 elements, right? So 24 bytes will be uh, allocated from the heap. So if I enter suppose 22, 66, 45, 89, 35, and 74. So see here, okay. If I run the program again, if I want to store suppose 12, and I can only 3, 3, 6, 3, 9, 10, 11, and so I could enter 12 elements. So this is the use of the it is the use of the or uh, implementation of the dynamic memory allocation function malloc, right? Now suppose if I do not take the input from the user, and I run this program, and suppose I enter 5. So you see this is pure garbage. Okay. I mean We do not know uh, what data will be stored when you call the function malloc, because malloc allocates memory, and that memory may contain zero or any garbage value. We are not sure about that, right? So memory allocated by malloc is garbage always. Hmm? So that's why, as far as malloc is concerned, that is the implementation of the malloc, right? Now there is one more function, but before calloc, we will see what is the free. In C there is a free function. In C++ there is a delete. In C++, delete is an operator. Basically, internally it is a function, but in C++ there is a concept called operator overloading. That's why delete is an operator. But uh, in C, uh, there is not explicit operator overloading as such. Little bit of operator overloading is there, like no multiplication star operator you can be used as a multiplication operator as well as pointer operator. So that is a kind of a operator overloading. All right. Minus operator can be used as a negative minus as well as subtraction operator. That means unary as well as binary. So that is also kind of a operator overloading. What is in the operator overloading is giving meaning, different meaning to the operator on the basis of context. That we call it as operator overloading. But in C++, they exploited that. If you are interested in learning C++ in the future, suppose, okay, from me, because few students from you have requested me to take C++ as well. But that different story, because it is a wonderful subject and really philosophical. I am not, uh, in fact, if you ask me, uh, in my life, whichever programming language I have learned, okay, C language or C++ or a Java or a Python or whatever, right? I will always rate C++ as one of my no favorite language, favorite, only because C++ relates with the real world. Okay? The way we behave along with so many people and so many objects in this world. So C++ has followed that philosophy, real world philosophy. That's why I like that. But that is different story. Let's come to the free function. So there is a free function and prototype is free. Uh, the pointer is whatever the memory is allocated, that pointer is sent as an argument, and function doesn't return anything. It just frees up the memory. Okay? It frees. Now, sometimes students are asked questions. What exactly happens when you free the memory? Right? Because students ignore all these things. They just are taught malloc. Sometimes they are not taught at all calloc. This calloc is explained, and nothing is talked on that. Realloc is mostly not taken, and free they just tell in the your class or college that free is a function which needs to be called. It frees the memory. But what does it actually? What does it do? That is very important to understand. Basically, free function disconnects the pointer along with the memory, right? The link which is established between the pointer on the stack and memory allocated on the heap, that link is disconnected. That's it. Okay. It doesn't definitely mean that whatever the data at that in that allocated memory, that is also removed or it is initialized to zero, or no, nothing happens like that. Free just disconnects connection between the pointer and allocated memory. That's it, right? Now, why uh, free must be called? Because free function mostly is forgotten by programmers while writing program. That is a global scenario, global phenomenon. Uh, Multiple reasons are there. First of all, student or a programmer is in the mood of developing the logic of the program, right? And in that process, he forgets calling the free function, right? That is a very common reason, and that is the reason uh, C++ came along with the destructor function. I mean, I don't know whether you have learned C++ or not, but C++ came along with the constructor and destructor function, or the Java introduced the garbage collection method, or even Python has got garbage collection. So these were introduced by Java and Python only because they found freeing the memory is a very serious weakness, very serious drawback of C language. Freeing the memory explicitly. What do you mean by explicitly? By a programmer, because it is programmer's responsibility to release the memory. See the difference between static memory and dynamic memory. As far as statically allocated memory, when you declare variables inside functions or global variables at the file scope, as far as local variables are concerned, I have told you that compiler takes care of allocation of memory and compiler care of deallocation of memory. So the burden is not on the programmer's shoulder, but it doesn't happen along with the dynamic memory allocation. In case of dynamic memory allocation, programmer is allocating memory at the runtime because he is calling the function like malloc or calloc. So again, that responsibility of releasing the memory back to the operating system, because free function does what? It deallocates memory and given back to the operating system. What do you mean by operating system? Back to the operating system. Basically, it is not operating system. As I taught you yesterday, it is a runtime memory environment, right? A section of that memory management of the system, which is dedicated, which is looking after the memory management of your uh, for your source code. Now that runtime system environment manages memory on the heap. When you free that, it is it is allowing runtime memory environment to use that memory somewhere else. That is basically the uh, what you can say, uh, uh, that so that memory can be reused during the code again. If you do not free that memory, if you do not free that memory remains like that. Okay, and then what you can say, that is a concept related with the memory leak. Memory leak is associated with that uh, free function. If you do not call free, if you go on allocating memory by multiple calls to the malloc and you do not free that memory each time after the work is finished, then virtually lot of memory is there. I mean, enough memory is there, but virtually it doesn't exist, right? It is like occupied, right? If you suppose go to the movie theater, or if you go to watch the match on the stadium, I don't know whether you have gone on the stadium to watch the match or not, or in the theater as well. Okay? It happens, if you have observed this, it happens that uh, theater is, I mean, all tickets are sold, right? All tickets are sold. Suppose there is a theater which is having 500 seating capacity, right? And 500 tickets are sold, booked. The show is over, what we call overfull or something. Okay, houseful. I don't know. Houseful. We say that houseful. But suppose 25 people didn't turn up to watch the movie. What happens? 25 seats are remaining over there. Okay. But at the same time, 25 people who are perhaps returning from the ticket window only because tickets are not available, they are deprived of watching that movie. So this is a contradiction. 25 people are going back, but at the same time 25 seats are there only because those who have booked have not turned up. They cancelled. So this is called a, in programming terminology, this is called a memory leak. It happens uh, while writing C program, usually C program. Memory leak happens as far as C program is concerned. Okay, in C++, Java, this doesn't take place. So it is one of the serious weakness, what you can say about the C language. Huh? So memory leak is there, where memory is there, but I mean, it cannot be used. So free is a kind of thing which frees up the memory and which can be reclaimed for next malloc function call. So it is free function. Whenever you call the malloc function, right? Uh, the first step is to check whether PTR equal to null. Right? If PTR is equal to null, that means if memory is not, if malloc function cannot allocate memory, it happens. Sometimes it may happen. This is rare at the academic level or for small applications, but it may happen that memory it cannot allocate the memory from the heap for a reasons. So in that case, we need to check first using call to the if control structure, and you can say memory cannot be allocated. This is a good programming practice, right? This is good programming practice. Next, at the end, you're supposed to call free, right? And send that PTR. This is how memory is deallocated. Right? Memory is given back to the operating system. Now, suppose uh, suppose the next example I will show this by taking a small example, not here. This is for time being, this is okay. Okay, this is how the free function is called, right? For each malloc, there should be free. Okay. Sometimes they ask you in the interview. Okay. What if you call free functions? Okay, that is wrong. Okay. Doesn't have, doesn't have a proper logic to explain. Because once it is freed, that's freed, right? So that should not be done. That must not be done. For one malloc, only one free should be there. Now, there is another function called calloc or calloc, as I explained you earlier. Small difference is there, like prototype is there. Nothing much. Calloc function is takes two arguments. First of all, number of atoms and size of each atom, right? But separated by comma. In the malloc, actually, we are doing the same thing, right? But we are multiplying there. Here we are just explicitly sending two arguments, number of elements and size of each element, right? And it returns again void pointer, right? It again allocates requested memory from the heap. There are two differences. First of all, calloc takes two arguments, whereas malloc takes one argument. And second difference is that memory allocated by the malloc function contains garbage, whereas memory allocated from calloc function is initialized to 0. There are some situations while writing a program that you want memory to be initialized to 0, right? There are some situations. You don't wish garbage in that. So people call calloc function. No, as far as malloc function is concerned, there are ways. There are ways to allocate that memory uh, to 0, right? There is one function. I will explain it tomorrow if it is possible. But I have seen uh, a rare use of calloc. People do not use this. Maybe programmers do not like that. Don't know. Sometimes some things work, some things do not work. But calloc I have seen rarely. Okay. There is no problem along with the calloc, but I don't understand. People do not use calloc. But there is a function which is a powerful, that doesn't have any drawbacks. So you can use that. Rather, you should use it, right? So all difference will be calloc and size underscore t. What do you mean by size underscore t? Both are taking arguments as size underscore t. So first is num, then size of int, right? And here this is going to be there always, right? So if I run this code, it works in the same fashion. So there is no difference, right? So, but let's check whether the claim made by the library developers that it is initialized to 0. So just check whether it is initialized, because in the earlier case we got that. So we will not enter any data in the this here. We will directly try to print. Let's cross verify that. right? Let's cross verify that whether, suppose I enter 7, so it is initialized to 0. But that in the earlier case, in the first element was garbage and rest of them were 0. Here all are zeros. That is the reason the name has been given as calloc. What is the meaning of that? Allocate and clear. What is that clear? Allocate. The C stands for clear. Allocate memory and clear. Clear means clear the garbage and initialize to 0. That's why calloc. Right? So any of the function you can use it. I'll share this program along with you. I don't know whether there was any program yesterday, but I will share it. Okay, because yesterday I think majority of the time was spent on theoretical aspects and intricacies of dynamic memory allocation. We wrote only one small program, so I didn't share it. So today I will share it. Right now, next. Let's go back to the basics because these are again very important. If I declare a variable as uh, I think you are, because some gap was there, so I think you are able to explain the structure chapter because students, a lot of concepts are students forget fundamental concept. That is the what I have seen in the past. So So we'll write multiple statements how to know, because we should know that, because what happens uh, while teaching malloc or calloc, only integer pointer is taken and students uh, cannot write malloc function for even character or they it becomes a problem for them, right? So how can we allocate memory in star malloc? There you go. And, okay, there should be float star. Uh, you know, uh, even you can write like this. And this is a structure pointer, right? So we are allocating memory for the structure on the, if you understand these, what I am teaching you, these concepts, seemingly very simple and silly, but you know the root of a very important topic of C++ lies here, and students do not understand that topic when I teach C++ only because they do not know or they ignore this whatever I am writing here, right? That's why the colleges they write structure pointer, but they do not know why they write student star and all these things. Because here they understand, but here they forgot. Here again because here again malloc returns word pointer and it is converted into user defined pointer, user defined data type or pointer of the user defined data type, right? Size of what you will write here student. So very knowingly, very carefully, I am taking this seemingly silly example. Okay, I mean I know that you might get bored, but don't get bored. Why? Because these are the concepts students ignore and they fail in understanding C++ or even Java or Python or lot of programming language in the future. So now I can store the data. We can do here. You have to write strcpy. Don't forget. Otherwise, you would have forget that string chapter now. You cannot assign the string, right? You have to see that. And then star is remaining. Yes. What that star here? And I can write here. Star. Float. This compiler, I think, might not work along with the double because there is some problem, I think. I don't know. I haven't got time to fix that problem. Takes lot of time, but I don't write this program and show directly to you because you may not understand what I have written. At least simultaneously when you see it, and so at least you can know roll your eyes on what I am writing. So by that way, at least you understand something. What is here? Yeah. So that I told you, no, some that code block, my compile ID has got some serious issues. So you just see that these five, all these values have been stored on the heap, right? All these have been stored on the heap, right? How to use this malloc and all these things? Basically, malloc is rigorously used in the data structure. You insert a node, you insert a node at the beginning, at the end, at the middle, for linked list or a stack or a queue, even binary trees, everywhere this list or stack or queue or binary tree is created dynamically, right? And when you create all these data structures dynamically, whenever you add something, you allocate the memory using malloc or calloc. And whenever you delete the node, you need to free the memory, whichever you have allocated. So that is how malloc and free work in tandem. So shall we start? Thank you very much for attending the session. Tomorrow there will be paper, so I will send the paper.